Alright, hey, what's up everybody? My name is Sen. Welcome back to the channel. Now, if you guys didn't know, I am a super big fan of fighting games. It's mainly what I do on this channel, and I've been playing fighting games somewhat extensively for a little while now, probably about 5 or so years. Now, Dragon Ball FighterZ was my first official fighting game that I really got into, and one of the menaces that was a big problem for me was Z Broly. Now, one of the biggest things against Z Broly was absolutely his command grab. His command grab was so scary for me, and potentially what it meant, the damage was just something I was super worried about, and ended up very much affecting my mental stack whenever I was playing against the character. I was absolutely fine blocking anything that Broly had to offer, but when it came to the command grab, I was super duper scared, but eventually I did get used to it. And the biggest thing that kind of changed, the biggest thing I was on the lookout for when it came to kind of defending against this was his animation around when his hand would be raised. Obviously, that was a clear indicator that a command grab was coming, and the best way for me to counter it was to do something like a neutral jump into a button, or IED, or backdash, or this, that, and the third. You could super dash, I think, as well. So fighting against Z Broly's command grabs became a lot less scary over time. It's still a scary button, don't get me wrong, but it just lessened. Now, fast forwarding to my time with Street Fighter 6, this worry kind of came back in spades. If you play Street Fighter 6, you might already know that there are plenty of characters on the cast to worry about that have command grabs. The biggest offenders are absolutely Manon, Lily, and Zangief. There's a splash of the command grab as well with characters like Blanca, E Honda, and so on and so forth, but those aren't the ones that we're worried about. I've definitely said that Zangief is my demon at least 1,000,005 times, and that's an extremely large part because of this move right here, SPD. SPD does a ton of damage. SPD or spinning pile driver definitely falls into the category of big, scary move. Now let's talk a little bit about command grabs in general. Command grabs are definitely based around a risk-reward system. Now, just because a character has a command grab doesn't mean that their entire kit is based around a command grab. I would say the more focused characters are actually Zangief and Manon that are very focused on getting that. Zangief, just because it does crazy damage. The major thing I wanted to talk about during this video is what makes a command grab scary or not scary. So what I wanted to talk about today is why did a character like Z Broly and his command grab become less scary over time, and why in Street Fighter 6 is Zangief and Manon still scary. The first place I want to start with is, as I said earlier, the kind of animation that I was looking out for. I knew exactly what I was looking for when it came to the hand being in the air. I knew to get out of that situation. The next thing I would look out for would be the actual speed. His light command grab starting at 17 frames, his medium at 24, and then his EX at also 24. What could make this scary is where this command grab actually leads into. So first off, with his light command grab, it really doesn't lead into anything other than sliding knockdown. You can't vanish off it, nothing. He's just in sliding. The best you could do would be to kind of go into supers. With that said though, 17 frames for a command grab is still quite quick, and if it's in a kill situation, that could potentially be very scary as well. A difference in 7 frames made his medium command grab much more reactable in my opinion. You wouldn't think 7 frames is a lot, but it really was a difference maker between me reacting to it and me not. This command grab was much more kind of utilitarian to go for, you can at the very least vanish off it, or in the corner you can actually get a bit of a combo. Not that I know how to combo with Z Broly, but yeah, you get a full combo in the corner. His EX command grab has a bit more combo opportunity. You can get a little bit of a combo mid-screen because you get a wall bounce. I'm really bad at following it up. It's something I never really worked on because I don't play this character. You get what I mean though. It wouldn't be anything like amazing damage or anything like that unless you went into level 3, but still a pretty scary resource to kind of take note of. You do get a full combo off it potentially. Makes a lot of sense. Every version of SPD is 5 frames. Oh my god, that changes how I'm looking at this quite dramatically. That's crazy. I figured it would be faster, but I wasn't sure how much it actually would be. So they really didn't want SPD or anything like that to be reactable. So what's interesting is moves like these fall into like high risk, high reward. To like sum it up in a basic manner is you absolutely get blown up if you go for a command grab because the recovery is so high, like 61 frames in total. But I mean, obviously the damage that you get if you do land this is you know, something to consider. And then what was it, EXSPD? So that was 3300 EXSPD. 3400. Okay, so only 100 more damage. And then especially in like a character like Zangief's case, like obviously he has his own struggles. I'm not gonna, this is not just me, Zangief, complaining. He is my demon, but that's not the point of this video. He's got more health than the rest of the cast. I actually don't know how much. I actually wanted to look that up. He also has the highest health in the game at 11,000. Maurice and Honda have 10,500. Everyone else has 10,000. So he's a little bit hardier than the rest of the cast, which, you know, is going to take more hits and more interactions for like to actually off this character. This is definitely making me think more about the mental stack between characters like Zangief and Manon. Like Manon has better neutral than Zangief does, and she continuously gets more and more reward with each command grab that she lands. But also Zangief, not as good neutral, but he gets a lot of reward with each grab. I actually don't know how to feel about this because, like, I don't necessarily think command grabs should be reactable because that's the character's win condition, essentially. So, like, it's really easy to just say, like, oh, that's fucking busted, you can't react to it. Like, nerf the grab so I can react to it. Like, it's really easy to think about that, but then the way like that offense is played with these characters has to fundamentally change. You have to either make their neutral better, their buttons better, things like that. But it's clear that the command grab for these characters is their win condition. I mean, I kind of always knew that all along, but this is just kind of further solidifying that. At least with like classic controls, like there's potential for like error of execution, or like there's some like ability to fuck it up, you know what I'm saying? With modern, you gotta hit the button. Yes, I know. There's less damage, this, that, and the third, but still, you know, you're literally getting the character's win condition just with the button, right? All the more curious how they're actually going to kind of continue onwards with like the grapplers in the game. Like, how are they gonna make them stronger, or if they intend to make them weaker in any way? What I did want to take a look at is the actual patch. I did not really use Manon at all. And a Han. Okay, so it's her target combo. Gotcha. So adjusted so that this move has greater inertia when performed out of a dry rush. So just more carry, it seems like, out of a dry rush. Okay, so they just gave her... they didn't really change her much, but they like gave her better Oki on her level 2 if you like fuck it up a little bit. So if you land a grab with Manon, you get these little stacks next to the like your dry rush bar. The more stacks you have with this character, the more damage your grab based moves do. Like, I don't think actually like a normal throw changes, but like the win con for this character is to get to 5 stacks, and when you are in 5 stacks, your command grab does a lot of damage. Like, it does 3,700 damage, which is more than Zangief's SPDs. What is the base damage? 2,000? So not that crazy by any means, but it's just what it eventually leads up to that kind of changes the, like, where your focus on your mental stack is for this character. You don't want to get grabbed, it's the same feeling, but it's what each grab means that weighs more, which is interesting, actually. Overdrive double lariat. Oh, that's what it is. Adjusted so the second attack hits the opponent not in the air 1 frame earlier. Siberian Express. Aerial Russian Slam. So it's double quarter circle forward kick. This is level 1. The hitbox has been expanded downwards. Further on the way down, this is actually going to connect. I see. So even more so, that adds to the mental stack in mind games, because like if a Zangief knows you're going to jump because they think you're going to SPD, they have an option for that, which cool. It's an interesting way of having Zangief exist. Totally fine with this, no problems. So it seems as if they're not really changing anything about how command grabs actually work. Like, it seems as if that's how they want them to be performed, which I get it. Like I said, there needs to be a win condition for each and every character. And it just so happens that these characters kind of centralize around the grab. The only thing that I can do as a player at this point is either play good enough neutral where they can't get in grab range, or understand where my opponent likes to grab. Hi. Alright, so what makes a command grab scary? We covered how reactable a command grab is or is not with Z Broly, and out of what it seems like in Street Fighter, they're not exactly going for reactable, which is totally fine. Next would be damage. It could be upfront damage like Zangief, or it could also potentially lead into a combo as well. And then finally, it's what each grab means or could mean. It could just be enough damage to kill you, or in someone like Manon's case, it could be a kind of domino effect that slowly gets worse with each subsequent grab she lands. But also, there's other situations where a command grab could lead towards a repeat situation where you're kind of put into a guessing game. All this ends up brewing together and ends up weighing on your mental stack, which could cause you to get hit in silly places and to be grabbed in sillier.